What again, family? Welcome back to Unstoppable Recap. So let's jump into today's recap without doing too much long talking or delay. Now, this story right here was shared on Unstoppable Live some time ago, and it's a young lady that's talking about how she met her husband, got married real fast, and wanted to build a life with this man. And she had a business plan. She put it to her husband, him invest in it, and business just boom and started to rock it right away, and life looked good for them right up until the point where she felt like she wanted to motivate her husband a little bit more to get a career as opposed to a job, right? So she motivated him go back to school, and he got a profession, and things was going all right. But during that entire time while he was undergoing his studies and stuff, she had to cover the finances, she had to be paying the rent, she had to be paying the bills and all of that, and things got a little bit strenuous, and as a result of the strain, the sex part of things kind of declined a little bit, and it caused a problem that the man actually stepped out on the marriage and go, give the thing to as a next Chica Road, and that Chica Road turned out to be a stalker. Family, listen to this episode that was shared on Unstoppable Live.
We're grown people. We're not teenagers. So if we want to get married, that's up to us. I said to him that he can take a couple years or a couple months and figure out what kind of career he wants to go into. So get your career sorted out and make sure it's something like, as I said, not a job. Don't find a job, find a career. That's what me think, right? That's my advice to him. Find a career where always in a demand, whether a nurse or doctor or whatever, just find something where no matter what, it's always gonna be in demand. So him say, all right then. So figure it out, call one of the school college figure out if them are gonna go college. So he started going to college. When he started going to college, the whole thing just became so stressful because then we had such high expenses because our rent was like over 35,000, including like our internet was over 35,000. Then all of the expense every day for him to travel go school, it was me. Any car expense, it was me. Every single expense you can think of, food, anything, it was me because right in my go college, and the bill was the rent was so high at the time, right? Cause when house a house to rent at the time, we were trying to move out, we couldn't find a place. It's like each month we try to move, we end up at here. So it's like it's like I don't know. Sometimes we feel like some kind of like thing was trying to keep us in that house so that we would. But at the end, after like say several months, he had to sell his car, right? So he sold the car, right? Had the car for 3 years, and then he had to sell the car, right? So when he sold the car, he thought for school, but school was almost like kind of coming to a close. And then when him come to a close now, it's like him supposed to send out the resume them now to get jobs. So me now get on that now, because me on the computers do him resume, ask him where he wants to go on it, show him resume, him put some stuff on it and send it out, right? When we send out that, him get a call for a job, but the job was not paying him. It was like minimum wage because like them do some trial thing, and them gonna do some long probation. So it was still stress on me because all him could afford was like just to him travel, right? So this was like stress. So what happened now? I fall into like deep depression, right? Fall into a hole, can't come out of it. No, I don't want to leave the house because I'm getting like so stressed, right? And it's like no matter what nobody say, I could not come out of that thing. Like me in my room, I'll start sleeping in a different room. Him start complaining, and I say, "Why are you sleeping in a different room? This is not right. We're married. You're doing your work in one room, and then you're sleeping in that room." And then him start complaining, and talking about sex, right? So I'm just like, you are broke, right? We don't have money, right? You're going to school, and I don't want you to come get me pregnant right now. Yeah, you understand? Because, and those were like horrible words to actually say, right? Considering that how close we were, like we're a couple, like everywhere he goes, I'm there. If he gets his time off, home together all the time. Like, we don't even have like friends with us, so like we go out with friends, like it's that those people are non existent. It's just me and him, like all the time, like every single time. So that I realized that this finance thing was kind of getting in our way, and it's like I fall into a hole and I did not know how to get out. And that time now I stopped go church because of the whole depression thing. I just stopped go church, and I knew that that was the wrong thing, but it's like I couldn't stop what was happening, right? And then during that time now, me start get some dreams, right? And the dreams them that I get was like recurrent dreams that kept saying to me, like, you're gonna cry, you're gonna cry, you're gonna cry. Like every night I get repeated dreams, you're gonna cry, right? When he said this to me, this was October, no, sorry, he told me this in September when he cornered me in the hallway in next near to the laundry room. He said, like, what do you want me to do? So he said this, and like, okay, I don't care. And he said this to me September, right? He said this to me September 27th, right? This is when he said it. So I'm just like, yeah, the date so you can get the time. He said it to me like um the middle of September 2017. That's when he said it to me. So me keep on I get these weird dreams, and I'm getting these weird dreams, and it keep happening over and over again. And it's like come past October now, 2017, and then go straight past now. I'm near like November, and when I'm November, I'm getting this. I'm walking around in the kitchen, and I'm getting this thing like God saying like you're gonna cry, you're gonna cry. So he started getting agitated. Sometimes when he come home, he's fine, but then for a couple days, I noticed that he's getting really agitated. So I'm like wondering, I'm on the phone talking to somebody overseas, and I'm saying his behavior is so strange, he's stressed out, and he was complaining, was saying something about money, and he kept saying something about money, and I'm like, normally, like, you don't even complain about me spending, like if I spend something, I would tell him. If I spend $500, I'm telling him, right? And if he spends anything, he's telling me because I have to keep track. And so he was acting weird. So I'm like, all right, this is weird. And I told the lady, and she was just like, "Oh, don't worry, he'll snap out of it." So I'm like, "All right then." And then he got so weird that I said, "You know what? I'm gonna fast and pray for him." So I did a 7 days, 7 nights fasting and praying, and I'm like, I need to like figure like what this thing is. So I'm calling name to God. I'm just praying for him.
You said you deprived your husband of sex because
Yeah,
you was
I
in
did.
depression.
Yeah, I was.
And if you can remember, how long did you deprive him of sex for?
It was going on for a long time, like 9 months. It was like long.
You
It was
deprived the
really long.
man 9
Yeah.
months?
Uh huh. Yep. And he kept saying his penis is troubling him. It's giving him problems.
No, you know you're wrong for that, right?
Yeah.
You know you're wrong for that, right?
So,
No, no, no. On a
yeah.
serious level, that you're wrong for that. In every sense of the word, you're wrong for that.
Yeah. I take full responsibility. Sometimes, you see, because like it's my first relationship, so sometimes you have to put yourself in the mind frame of a man and say that men, as remember, from Venus, that kind of thing, where you can't always, you're not supposed to think about life the way how women think about life. Project that kind of thoughts towards men because they don't think the way we think.
During this 9 months, did you honestly believe your husband was being faithful to you during these 9 months?
Yeah, he was because he's not the type of person that even before me, he was not the type of person to go around with different people. He wasn't that type of person. That's why he came to me. I got frustrated and said to me straight, what is now it's getting really bad now. What you want me to do? And bearing in mind, I told you that we were inside the house together. Like almost all the time we have each other's phone passwords. I'm on his phone all the time. You know, him not behave strange when I'm on his phone, nothing. And we are together. We are if him go down the road, him go down the road for like 5 minutes, he's back. You understand? He's not out with no guy friends. He's not staying out late at night. It's nothing like that. You understand? He is always around me. Because that's how we are. We're like weird. You understand? Like both of us, we don't really have no best friends or anything like that. I have some church friends, but I'm not even like around them. You understand? So even they're always saying to me like, why aren't you out here with us, like whatever? And I'm like, no, I'm good, thanks. So we're always around each other. So I wouldn't know when he had time to do that. You understand? It would be like if him get him time off, we're together at the same, or we'll say, oh, let's go to the beach or let's go somewhere. We're together. So when would he have that time? If I'm in one room, he's in the next room.
So let's pick up from where you left off. Let's get to it. What else you have to share? Let's go.
He's acting strange, right? So what I did was, as I said before, this is from September. He spoke to me, and so like October, November, him start act weird, and so I said I'm gonna just pray because I didn't really understand what it was, and then him start mention some things about money, like him would say like, why I can't get access to this money or whatever, and I'm like, listen, we have to save it because we have something to do, and so we can't take out no chunks of money out of this because, may I explain it to him the financial, and I said to him, so it's weird your behavior because you normally have an agreement with these things, so I don't understand where the argument's coming from, and you don't even normally behave like this. You're normally like calm and stuff like that. So anyway, him start behave a certain kind of way. And then what I did was, as I said before, we just got on a prayer. And then one day, I walk into the kitchen. And then, as I said, I feel like, saying like something coming towards you, you're going to cry, like some destruction, disaster, something. So I pointed at him in the living room. I pointed in his face when he was watching TV, and I said to him, because I looked at myself, right? I looked at myself, and I thought to myself, I'm like, I'm in this house. I'm not doing anything wrong, right? So I was in the kitchen. I'm like, it must be you because I'm not doing nothing wrong. So I say, you're not doing some nonsense because this not add up, right? Because I know for a fact it's not me. If something is happening, it's not me. And so my parents said to him, I'm going to say to him, so anything that you're doing, right, the devil is going to bring you to open disgrace. That's what I said to him. And I pointed at him and I noticed that him just look up at me. And then he looked a bit weird and then he was carry on watching him TV. So I'm like, okay, so leave it like that. And then come to the point where we need to move out of the house now because I'm like, the rent is too high. We need to move out. But something happened to my phone, right? And I gave him, something happened to his phone, sorry, and he was taking it to college all the time. And so sometimes it's like, I don't have a phone. So that day, he was going off to work, and he was taking his phone. So I said to him, since you're always gonna be like since you're always gonna be like at work where they don't allow you to turn on your phone, just give me the phone today because I need to come around some places to find accommodation because I need to sort out the place as soon as possible because we need to leave and our rent is coming up and I want to move before our rent is due. So at first he was like, no, he's not giving me the phone. And I'm like, another red flag, not giving me the phone, that's weird. We normally share a phone, we're always on the phone. Like, like it's weird. Not all of a sudden, within the last 2 weeks, like within the last, not even 2 weeks, but that was just weird how him know I'm going to get the phone now and me and him together. And me read all of him text message and him read all of mine, all of these things. So anyway, I took the phone from him and I actually just like, there was this stern thing that came in me. I'm like, I need the phone, right? I've got to call these landlords and I need to arrange house viewing. I need the phone. Like, I really need the phone. bear in mind, when me I said this, he still had express to him, say, "Hit the phone." So it's like, it's not a if or but, like, I can't go to with the phone. So me take the phone from him. He agreed, he gave the phone, he went to work. So I'm, at, I'm working online, minding my own business. Then me see this number calling phone, right? So when me see the number call the phone, I saw, like, I looked at it and saw two missed calls, and I'm like looking at it, but I thought, I went on WhatsApp to look at the person's picture, and I thought it was somebody from his college, right? Because he was going to college with guys and girls, and I knew there was girls in his phone. I saw text messages that they sent each other. I saw text messages that the guy sent him. So I knew, I was familiar with all the girls, what their names were. Sometimes they would call, I would speak to them. I'll pass the phone to him because he was in groups and doing group assignments. So he had to talk to those people. I had no problems with that. So this particular picture and this girl, never seen her before, except that I saw her picture come up on WhatsApp a couple weeks before. And when I saw the picture come up on the WhatsApp, I saw her face. And when I saw her face, it's like something inside of me was telling me, like, noise God, you know. He was telling me, like, say hello. You know, don't say who are you or whatever. Just say hello. Say something to this girl. Say hello. Because whatever is like, I felt like the reason why I was being told that is like, because whatever she was gonna send back to me, I would have known that this is not an appropriate relationship. So something was just saying, say hi, because she's gonna think it's him, right? So she's gonna respond back maybe, hey babe, or something. But anyway, I didn't listen to that voice, which I should have. I didn't. So what happened now? Fast forward, because this is when I saw her picture. I saw her picture in October. Fast forward now, this is December, December like 15, 16. So this December 15, 16, and this is 2017. So I'm seeing her picture come up. I said to myself, I look at the phone number and I see that the phone number is blocked. So what I did was I unblocked her, and then I sent her a text message. I said, how can I help you? So I typed in and question mark. How can I help you? Question mark, right? So she texted back and said, you are being sarcastic. And I'm like, what do you mean I'm being sarcastic? And she said, they say my pressure is high. My blood pressure is high. And I'm like, okay. And then she says, she calls my husband's name, and she types back, this baby is not going to wait until you get your head around it. You are stressing me out more than this baby is stressing me out.
Yeah, you know.
So unstoppable, what I did was my hand started shaking. My hand started shake, right? My hand started shake, and I said to myself, all right then, let me calm down.
This is the man that you thought wasn't cheating on you, right?
Right,
Okay, go right
right.
ahead.
All right. I'm sure he wasn't. But anyway, so it's because he was with me all the time. But during these times when whatever was happening, he wasn't with me. That's what I'm telling you. So let me tell you how me know it now. Let me tell you how me know it. So anyway, I said, remember, bear in mind this girl thinks that this is him, right? So me, I gotta use this opportunity to get every single information from her, right? I'm not gonna get it from him, because I don't want no lies or mistruths. So I'm going to get the information directly from her. So I started engaging with her in conversation, and I said to her, when is your baby due? And she said, June, July 2018. I said, okay. I said, my wife has been seeing things, because why I said my wife, I wanted to know if she knew he had a wife. Right? So I'm asking all these questions. My wife says she's having dreams about babies and stuff like that. And that was true, because I had a dream about a baby, and he was standing beside a woman with a baby. But I thought that baby was mine, because at that time we had said, okay, let's have a baby. But remember, I was telling him like I didn't want to get pregnant. But now, within the last few months, I was saying let's have a baby, right? So I saw this baby. I went to him and I said, I saw this dream with you and this baby, and the baby's a girl. And I started saying all of those things, and so that um, I need to get every kind of information from her first before he gets home. So I'm there talking to her, and when is your baby due? And she told me, and then she was like, "You show no care, you're stressing me out." And I'm like, "Oh, of course I do care, because I'm trying to keep her nice so that she would answer all my questions." And then I said, "You know, who's the father? Be honest." And so she called my husband's name and she said, "You are. I'm sure you are." So I said, "Okay." And then um, she said, "How does my pussy feel?" And then I told her what she wanted to hear. And then she said, "You remember that? No, you remember that?" I asked her, "When did we meet again? When did we meet again?" Because I'm thinking this is something like way up like a year. Because remember, he was going to college. So I'm thinking this is something like up, way up, way up, way up. And turns out they met in middle of October, right? So bear in mind, I started seeing the dreams in September. Um, they met the middle of October, and here I am, first week in December, finding this out. So that's around about 6 weeks, right? 6 weeks. So that's what I was telling you. So that's why he came to me in September, right? And saying like, "What do you want me to do?" And then when I said to him, like, me not care. So he was just like, "Oh, okay." She said she don't care, right? So him gone about him business, go do him thing. So what I did was, bear in mind, I was like down. After I get all this information from this girl, I told her that I was at work and I was in the corridor and I had to go back in, but I'll talk to her another time. Said my greetings, and that's it. So what I did now, I got dressed, combed my hair. Remember, I'm not going nowhere. I'm in the house. Got dressed, combed my hair, put in my earrings, got dressed like I was going to a fashion show, and I sat in the house and I waited on him. But while I waited on him, I called his school because I'm trying to figure out who this girl is. So I called his school, called one of the teachers that I'm always talking to, and I called her at the college and I said to her, "Does the name of this person ring a bell? Is she one of your students?" She said, "Nope, that person not here." So I'm like wondering where this guy meet, cause me know him whereabouts. I'm like, this is bizarre. Like, where this person come from? And she looked like somebody that he would not associate with, apart from just greeting her on the road and saying hello. Like, she don't look like she don't look like a girl that he would. You understand? So I'm like, wow, what happened here? So anyway, um, when I saw the situation, I said, "I'm gonna call the teacher." So I called the teacher. I told the teacher what happened. My hands were shaking and I was like crying. I told the teacher what happened and I said, "This girl says she's pregnant," and so forth. And the teacher was like, I told her I blame myself, and the teacher said, "No, but he's married, so he shouldn't have done that. And so he's wrong as well. Don't blame yourself. He had a choice." And I said, "But he told me when he was going to do it. He said that, 'Do you want me to do it?' And I, as the wife, I did this. You understand? Like, I caused this situation because he's not a cheater. He doesn't go around with other people. Him saying, 'Want to be with him wife,' and that's it." But he said to me when I spoke to him about it, like confronted, he was like, "You let me down because I was relying on you. I don't want to go around with other people, and I'm relying on you, and then you like let me down, you know." And I understood what he was saying, you know. And so what happened was I waited. I told the teacher that I'm going to kill him when he gets home. I don't know what I'm going to do. So the lady's like begging me, like, "Please don't do anything to him. I beg you, like, don't kill him. Don't do nothing. The prisons in Jamaica is not very good, and I don't want nothing to happen to you guys. Like, just please, I'll send you a pastor's number. You guys can get counseling. Like, don't kill him. Please don't do nothing wrong to him." And then I'm like, all right. Then I calmed down, and then I sat down and I waited for him to come home. And because I was already dressed, I said to him, "Please take a walk with me out of the house because I need to speak to you about something." And he had no idea what it was. And I said, "I need to speak to you about something. It's really urgent. And we need to take a walk outside of the house because there are things inside of the house. And I just feel like something bad's going to happen right now. So let us just get out of this house. Because let's just take a walk on the road, because at least when we're walking on the road, I won't do something, you won't do anything. Like, let's just walk on the road. He refused. Was like, no, I'm tired. I'm just come from work. I'm tired. I'm tired. And I'm like, no, let's just go outside, please. I'm begging you. He wouldn't allow me to take him outside. So I tried to calm down. I went at the room door, and he stood in the room door. I stood in the room door, and I asked him, I said, this girl, do you know this girl? He said, yes. And I said, she's saying that you are, she's pregnant with your child. And he said, he don't believe that. And I said, so why didn't you come to me and tell me that this was what was happening? If she says something and you don't believe it, why having to come to me and said, you understand? So he said, how do I tell somebody that I love that I've gotten this person pregnant? Like, I don't even know this person very well, and this girl is pregnant. So I'm like, all right, fair enough, that's your answer. There's nothing I can do about it. I said, I'm going to call this girl right now. I'm going to put her on speakerphone. I'm going to introduce myself, and we're going to get to the bottom of this in
All
front
right.
of you. So,
Carla,
yeah.
how did your husband meet this person?
Right, this is where we're going to find out everything now, because actually, all right. Let me
Okay,
tell you
okay,
let me
okay.
tell you how they meet. All right, bearing in mind, I'm depressed. We're kind of separating now, like physically, like. So while he was going to work one day, which was in October, he sold his car. Remember I told you? Sold his car, started walking like about a month. So he was at the bus stop. Here comes this girl. She stood there. He was there smoking, because we were backslide now. Me stop go church, him start smoke. When he starts smoking, I don't know about anybody else, but I'm telling you specific, when he smokes, he gives up 8 months, he smokes. When he starts smoking, he makes some weird decisions. This is not the first weird decision, but I'm not talking about cheating, but he did one next weird stuff. I'm like, I have to scratch my head, because I can't, I'm like, everybody was scratching their head. They were like, what the heck? Like, that's not even your character. But anyway, he was smoking as a kite and sitting down at, the bus stop and next to this cook shop place. And this girl shows up. One of the questions that this girl shows up and asked him was, um, if if him have any, if what does he do? And so him tell her him working and whatever. And then she will ask him like, um, if him have like, yeah, obviously job, and if him have any children. And he was like telling her no, he don't have any children. So she's just like surveying him, she doing a little street survey. So she doing her survey. So exchange number, put her number in his phone and so forth. That was in October, because bearing in mind, I I text her and asked her all the information before she even knew that I talked to her. You understand? So me to ask all kind of information. And I think she found it weird, because she was just saying like, remember? And I was just like, oh, sometimes I forget, because so and so. And she just like, that's why she said to me, say, how her pussy feels, right? Because I said I wasn't remembering stuff, right? So she was just like, oh, you remember that though, right? So that's why, you understand, I got all the information from she before I even picked up that phone and called her and spoke to her directly, right? Which she had no idea of. I got all the information before he arrived home, right? So anyway, I said, let's do the phone call. And she put her on speakerphone, screenshot everything, all messages, everything, put it on recording. I'm recording calls, all this kind of stuff. I'm recording calls. But bear in mind, this is a stranger. I don't know her. I don't trust her. So I'm recording all calls. I'm screenshotting everything. I'm screenshotting messages. I'm saving them on my computer. I'm saving them in my cloud. I'm doing stuff. You understand? So because I don't know who this person is. So I asked him, what's her last name? Because I was going to look her up. He don't know her last name. I'm like, no, Bridget, when they take this thing to go. How on earth you having sex? I'm gonna ask them how much time them have sex. Me ask her, I'm gonna ask him. So them numbers were similar. Like, listen how they met up. October, middle of October, they did their first thing. End of October, right? Then twice in November, and one time the first week of December before me, like when me find out, around about that time. right? So 5 times alone, 5 times, right? So this
Wait,
was what
Carla,
was going
wait.
on.
Did you
Yeah.
just say 5 times alone?
No, I mean, not say 5 to, but what may I say is that it could have been worse in terms of like meeting every night, every other night.
Oh,
You get what
okay.
I'm trying to say? Like, it could have
Okay.
been worse because remember, even though really know the girl there and know her sex life. So imagine visiting her every other night, meeting her every other night. That would have been, you understand, the risk that he was taking would have been, you understand, immense. More than just that. It's not. I mean, I don't mean that that's okay. Don't get me wrong. That's not okay,
Okay.
right? But in my heart, I was just like thinking. In my head, I was like thinking, oh my God, these people. I'm in this house. These people are going out every night doing this, and I'm like even thinking to myself like, when did this happen? Because when I look at the time, I realized that the reason why they probably spaced it out is because they didn't want me to be like suspicious. So 2 times in October, 2 times in November, and once in the first week in and so I found out around about like the 16th of December, right? So that's that. So I called her, and we're on the phone, and I said hi, and I explained to her that I was his wife, and that he has told me that you're pregnant, and so forth. And I explained to her, asked, and she said, yes, it's true. And I said to her, like, asked her, by that time as well, I must say, I did do some research on her before I even called her. So I already knew her last name, everything. So I talked to her and I said to her, do you know my husband's last name? Do you know much information about him? I asked her if she's ever been out on a date with him. And she's like, they've never even been out on a date. Like, I've been never even taken her out for a party. Never even taken her out for like a two-piece chicken and chips meal. Like, and I said to her, like, you have 2 children, right? 2 baby children already. This is your third child, and you are telling me that this strange guy that you've just met, that's your baby's father. And she's like, eh. And I said to her, like, when I was asking her, like, when was the last time you had sex with like somebody else? And so she was telling me like over a month. No, she told me months ago, and then she told him a month ago. So I guess she didn't keep her life straight. So she told him a month, and she told me a month. And then I also asked her STD stuff because I told her that we're gonna have to get her checked because we don't know her. And he's dumb enough to go and do stuff. I said to him, "Why not use the condom?" Well, here, what happened now. He met her and met her. Only know this girl for like hour or 45 minutes, like that, right? My girl is trying to come home with him. You just meet him, and then you're saying that him getting pregnant. She said she only had sex with him alone in that time period. I'm said to her, I said, that don't sound right because a person who's just had sex with just like you're claiming now to be like virginal. Like, you only had sex with this person. I said to her, you only know the guy for 45 minutes. And I come home with the guy, I try to come home with the guy, and she start trying to deny. I'm like, no, no, no. Listen, me hear your part, and I believe what he's saying here, right? And not everything like you're gonna say, and then I'm gonna believe say, okay, right? So the guy said, you're meeting 45 minutes, you come home with him. When she tried to come out of the car, he told her that I am with somebody, I'm not available, so you can't come to my house, right? So what she did was she called him back the next time to meet him. When she met him now, hear this, it was very close to that time. So she met him like another day and she met him at a river.
She just force her way in at the taxi for reach for come at the man
Yeah,
yard.
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, let me tell you what she did. She lived in our area where that was not even her taxi. You understand? That was not even her taxi. The place where she was going with my husband, that was not her taxi.
Right, but what
You
I'm
understand?
trying to ask you is this. What I'm trying to ask
Mm-hmm.
you is this. Your husband, they're at the bus stop, you say, right?
Right.
This
And she stopped
woman
him for.
strike up a conversation with him. Him
Mm-hmm.
taxi or him bus or whatever it was that him decide for go upon. She come
Right.
behind him and go upon it without saying, where you going? Can I come with you? Or hey, I'm coming with you, or
No.
nothing like that.
Yeah, yeah, she didn't. She didn't. She came in it as if what she was doing is like it was. She come in it as if it was on her way. You get what I'm saying? Like, oh, you're taking that. Oh, I'm going that way too. That kind of thing. Like, say at the same taxi she go on. That time she's trying to figure out where he lives and trying to get off with him, off the same stuff. You understand? So that's
Okay.
what she was doing, like pushing herself onto the person. Like, you understand? So like, oh, talk to him. Oh, he's a nice guy. So she want to go home. So he told her because even the taxi guy did like, me didn't know. So he told, so basically she, stop, sorry, Unstoppable. So basically she tried to come out with him, and he told her no. Like he told her, like, I'm not, like, I live with my woman, like, you can't come out, right? So that was her cue. Like I was like, all right then, he's with somebody. He never told you it was available, right? You know him with somebody, so I'm gonna understand why. You understand? So anyway, she met him the next time now, like the next day or something like that. And guess what? Now she's at the river, right? And he said, right? Him claims that him never knows that there was going to be sexual activity, right? He was shocked because he never knows that. Someone said to him, so how you mean say you don't know that there's going to be sexual activity? Also, I forgot to say Unstoppable. When she was at the bus stop with him, she said to him, all you, if me I have sex with you, all two condom me would I use. That's basically one of the things that made him think sexually, because she said that she would have used two condom with him because he is a handsome guy, right? So she was saying stuff like she think that him have enough woman all over the place. So if she have a sex with him, she'll make sure that she use two condoms. That was one of her so selling points for herself, selling herself, And so when she goes up to the river now, guess what he did now? He's on the side of the river chilling, and when he turns around, this girl is absolutely naked, naked as the day she was born, saying stuff like, "Oh, I'm going for a swim." She's going for a swim, naked as it is. So I'm just like, Bridget, you go find yourself. What did you think you were going around the river to do? To go play hopscotch? No, seriously. What you think that you did go around the river to do? Secluded river. What did you think was going to happen?
Alright, so we reached the end of the recap, but that doesn't mean the story ended right there, It went on into more. If you want to hear the rest of what was shared, click the link in the description, and it will also be pinned in the comment section as well. Click it, it will take you over to Unstoppable Live, where you can listen to this very same story in its entirety. When you go over there, make sure that you hit the subscribe button and leave a comment as well, and let me know say you came over from the recap channel so me can give you a big up. Alright, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Like I said, turn on all notifications so once we go live you can jump in the comment section and participate in the live streams. Alright, make sure to hit the subscribe button right here on the recap channel as well, so once we upload a recap you will not miss it. Watch out, man. Until the next Unstoppable recap, stay motivated, stay strong, but most of all, remain unstoppable.
Unstoppable.